Hey everybody, it's your girl the Siren Seer, and I am back with another reading. Today's reading is for Sagittarius. Oh, my fiery archers. Ooh, Holy Spirit, thank you so much for always being there and answering the questions that we have, or pointing us in the direction to get the answers. Thank you for just filling us up with the passion to follow our dreams and our destinies and our goals. I ask that you come in stream right now and speak for us. And speak for Sagittarius. Talk to him, Father God. It's time to set the record straight. You can speak now. Uh-oh, y'all. I loved making this card. This card cracked me up. Look at that. Little fairy on her little tulip. Just da-da-da-da, setting that record straight. These people had rapt focus. You can see like number 1, number 2, number 3. First of all, woo! Empty chalice, y'all. You're ancient and divine. Be prepared, homeless. All right. Child, what on earth do y'all have going on? Set the record straight. Empty chalice. So somebody has been, people have been talking, running their mouth, starting stuff. Like, I feel like there's just been some drama, like undercover drama. Nothing really glaring, but you know how people just talk or just put things in people's ears. I'm not quite sure how to say it. I'll check those out then in a little bit. But yeah, it's time to set the record straight, y'all. All I know is that whoever said whatever, they messed up, and you're about to fix that. You're about to set the whole story straight. They're about to get it from the horse's mouth, and they're going to get something too. That's the energy. Not necessarily revenge, not necessarily spiteful, but no, you didn't. Excuse me. Let me just set this record straight. Yeah, that's what I get. Because with this ancient and divine energy here, with the Queen of Hearts in the upright, it's like you know who you are, and you've always known who you are. You ain't never doubted once on that aspect. Like, I don't feel like this is a card of insecurity for you. Like, for some signs, that would be more like a insecurity, lack of love. But the empty chalice is more, to me, for you, is like, you just don't give a fuck no more. You have 0 fucks to give. You spent your last one. The last one, whoop, dripped right out your cup. You don't care. You're about to tell. You don't care about how they feel. You don't care about how what you're going to say is going to make them feel. You don't care what their situation is. It's about time to set that record straight. It's about time to handle your business. I really feel like that Queen of Swords, warrioress, excuse me, energy. Let me just snatch you up real quick and set you down, because you got some misconceptions that need to be set right. Be prepared and homeless. Be sure, I said it, be sure that when you're doing this, whatever it is that you're going to do, when you're doing it for the right reasons and in a healthy manner. I get that bad girl, bad bitch, petty, let me show you vibe, but at the same time, that could cut your nose off to spite your face. That could actually prohibit you and have you falling down in front of your enemies way more than they could ever have thought to bring you down. That could actually trip you up. It's but also in the aspect of be prepared and homeless. Excuse me. It was a little dry. Be prepared and homeless. It's like, be prepared to be outside of a place that feels like home. On one level, but the one I get the most and the strongest is be prepared to be homeless. Like, whatever this is, I feel like it was severe enough for you to speak up like this, so matter-of-factly, so dramatically. It's like, be prepared to cash the check you're about to write. So if you go in there with an ultimatum, like, you know what, it's me or them, and I'm not dealing with this, you can go, and then they go, okay, they go. You're gonna have to deal with that consequence, and you're gonna have to mean it if you want to make it through whatever you're setting straight. If you And if you were to say something along the lines of like, well, I'm not going to stay here if you're going to do this, they could very well be like, okay, bye. Bye. So it's not necessarily that would be the results of whatever you're about to set straight. It would be more along the lines of, you need to be that serious. You need to be that sure. You need to be that prepared to cash that check that you are writing with your smart behind. Because I know with the Aries moon in me and all the Sagittarius placements in my chart, I got in my Saturn, I got in my Uranus. Like, there's this Gemini sassiness that goes with it, but whereas Geminis do it more in an intellectual manner, Sagittarius does it more in a emotional manner. And like Leos, they tend to do it more in a physical manner. Like, they're worried about the money, they're worried about their physical exterior more so than the Sagittarius. The Sagittarius, you know, the life of the party, the wild, bubbly ones, the playful ones, you know, sassy, just that energy. That can get you in trouble if you're not prepared to follow through, and you could hurt yourself instead of help yourself. So just be on guard. I'm not saying don't set the record straight. I'm not saying not stand up for yourself. I'm not saying own your divine ancient truth of who you are, but just be prepared for the resistance and be prepared to have to follow through. You have 8 of clubs. You got a long journey ahead of you. Channel the albatross for endurance. You were built for this. Is in reverse. That implies to me that this is going to be a journey. Like, you might actually get some resistance from this. You might actually end up homeless after this, and that's okay. And I can say it's okay because I have been homeless before, and I have gone through that process. And as someone who has been homeless and gone through that process, I can tell you straight up that it was one of the best experiences in my life, one of the scariest, most nerve-wracking experiences, but it was also one of the biggest growth promoting experiences God has ever put me through. To have to walk by blind and utter faith, and to truly pay attention to your thoughts and unctions that you're getting in your spirit, and to decipher whether that is your ego or your creator or the voice of somebody else that has a little more influence on you because of the emotional attachment to them, you know, is a big deal. And that homeless time for me was a training session, and I've come to this position more than once. And a lot of times it was self-inflicted because I didn't mean what I said, and I had to prove the point, you know. Did it hurt me in the long run? I can't say that it actually did, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to function right from holding that kind of truth, that type of muzzling. And I'm going to say muzzling because that's what it's like. If a person can't speak their truth, their throat chakra becomes blocked, doesn't function right, which causes other issues and congestion and other chakras, and it can mess your whole body up and create a physical issue. So if I hadn't done what was healthy for me, I would have been really sick for my child. I would have been really sick to anybody else that God ever would have tried to send my way. I would have been in the right state of mind. But also, when you're put in those situations, there's a quietness that you're able to access that you can't always access in your normal habitat. And in that access, in that space of quiet, God's able to talk. You're able to hear. There's a time of coming to yourself and who you are, back to square one. It's like we have these points that we start, and we go off this way and collect this and that and pick up a tattoo, so to speak, in the spirit, and then we come back around and we go this way, and we might change our hair and da 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 da. And over time we kind of forget who we really are and what we really like because of all the people and influences around us. And we like to please the people we love. We like to make them happy. We like to make them feel good. So, we can compromise. That's what good people do in relationships of any sort. There is a level of compromising that has to be done on both parties. But at some point, you lose the true integrity of who you are. Everybody does. It doesn't matter how grounded you are. Everybody at some point loses balance and becomes ungrounded. And when you go into these type of positions, it's that one place that God can kind of zero in, and poof, you have no distractions when you're like this. You're forced to trust. You're forced in a vulnerable position to be humble. And it is a healthy thing to be humble. Pride truly does go before the fall. So all I'm saying is, check yourself before you write checks you can't cash. But also, don't resist if it ever truly comes down to that. Because that truly could be God in that midst. And what God gave me was better than what I was leaving. Even though it didn't seem like it at first. Because I had a certain perception and a mindset geared with a certain outcome in mind. And I was not flexible, and I did not go with the flow, and I did not work with God. I worked against him. But when I relaxed and actually tried it and tried to follow the unction, everything in my life completely changed. Everything completely changed. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but no matter what it looks like, even if it looks like the outside's going to be bad and the outcome's going to be bad, if God says to do something, the best thing for you to do is to do something. But yeah, so that the albatross, this is going to be, I have a feeling this is going to be a little bit of a process. And then you had these cards come out. Don't get caught up in the undertow of other people's problems and drama. Your spirit is like sacred incense to God in reverse. And then you're highly favored and very loved. And that's in the upright. Don't get caught up in the undertow of other people's problems and drama. It's underneath the empty chalice. And I feel that is one way that they were able to drain you of your fucks. Because they brought so much hullabaloo into your life. So much chaos. And we know that when people bring certain drama into your life, there's always a cost of some sort. Some of it can be helped, others of it can't. But when I'm talking those drama prone, the ones that love to have chaos, they love to always have a situation, and they say they don't. They say they don't, but they do. They live for it. And if everything is right, you could give them all the money that they needed to pay the bills. You could give them all the food that they needed to fill their stomach. You could provide them with vehicle and transportation. You could give them new clothes. You could give them a job opportunity, whatever it is. Death is the portal to a new beginning in reverse. Don't be afraid of change, y'all. Don't be afraid of change. But what I was saying was, they love it so much that they can't be happy when you fix it. You could fix every problem and they'd still find something. They really would. And I feel like that is a lot of what you deal with. And you're going to set the record straight. I can almost see you sit like, okay, so-and-so, first off, you da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and told da-da-da-da-da, that's first off, that was wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. You're wrong for listening to this because of this, like, there's just this enough. Like, I feel this Holy Spirit righteous indignation at the injustice and the slander. You do not talk bad about God's children. You just don't. any more than we allow anyone to talk bad about our children. Now, if they misbehaved, then state the facts. Your child did X, Y, and Z. But you don't be standing there running down our children thinking we're going to let you do that. Oh, your child is so da-da-da-da-da, and he da-da-da-da-da, or she da-da-da-da-da, and won't da-da-da-da-da. I can't da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? We don't let people harass and berate the children. And we don't let people berate and harass us. We are God's children. You come correct in our family. All right. I also feel like when you do start setting it straight, you're going to have reinforcements. Like, you're going to have a silent support group that when the time comes, they'll be able to chime in. So if you're running into this on like social media platforms and stuff, I have a feeling that someone would chime in the comments, back up. And I've seen that on people's pages and sites where you have those trifling trolls going through saying ignorant things, just looking for drama, trying to stir something up. Their comment has nothing to do with the video, and you always have someone taking the bait, and there's this big long trifling thread getting the person in charge of the whole page in trouble. Like, that stuff, that is wrong, and God's not having it, and this record's going to be set straight. With this being in reverse tells me that you don't feel like you're sacred to God. You know you're divine, but you don't feel divine. You don't feel sacred. You don't feel, and I think a lot of it's just because of the way people were talking. People really have this jacked up perception about you, I feel like, on some fronts. And it has, whether you like it or not, has affected the subconscious view of yourself. And if you're not thinking of yourself as sacred to God, like even your spirit is sacred to God, then how on earth are you still holding on to the truth that you're ancient and divine? Because how can you be divine and be funky? You can be divine and be sacred. Have you ever heard anyone say that flower is so divine it stinks? No, if a flower is stinky yet beautiful looking, it's like, man, it's a beautiful blossom, yet it's a little rank. And I have yet to hear of one sacred flower used in any ritual. Please, by all means, correct me if I'm wrong. If any of y'all know of a sacred flower that has a scent, not all flowers have an actual odor to them, but if you have a sacred flower used for sacred rituals or practices or spiritual uses that has a scent with the title sacred, used for sacred things, I have never heard of one that was funky. I've heard of plenty of medicinal ones, plenty of herbs and plants that stunk that were medicinal, but I have yet to hear of one that was sacred and funky. So if I'm wrong, please correct me, but all I'm saying is that your spirit is a divine aspect of you, and it is an aspect of Him. And it is sacred to Him, because the spirit is partly what animates this physical 3D. Like, you need your spirit and you need the soul. It's in the spirit world, you have different things where would blow your mind. Like, you can taste color and you can see scent. And for your scent to be sacred to God is a beautiful thing to be told. To know that some masterful, powerful, almighty being up there thinks of your spirit, the invisible aspect of you that radiates through your eyes and your smile and your laughter or your tears and your growls. Find your spirit to be sacred. You need to believe that and embrace that. Mermaid smoke, seaweed, self-care may be needed. Maybe y'all need to take something. I don't know. But you need to relax. Keep the truth, but don't be so wound up in your setting the record straight that you hurt yourself in the process and damage your critical relationships and the people that really do mean something to you that you'd like to keep in your life. Or mess up your job, by walking out on the boss without having all the facts. You only know this because of X, Y, and and Z. There might be things hidden that you don't know. So before you do, just be prepared. Come with all your facts. Come with your footage. Come with your information. Come with your details, the plans, you know, you come with everything, your proof, your exhibits, you know, if this is a court of law, what's your proof that they owe you this? Let me see the receipts, let me see the deal, let me see the contract. Be prepared. Homeless also implies to me that you might be moving somewhere, you might go somewhere, you might be in a move, not just an eviction aspect or without a home, but you might be in transference to a home. And if you are homeless, then that also is a transition thing, to go to a shelter. That it's a transitional home. You're in transition to go to another place. It is just a halfway stopping point. That's all that is. All right, you have you're highly favored and very loved in reverse. Again, I don't think that you believe it in your heart. I think you know this stuff. Like, you know you're ancient and divine. But I don't think you believe it. You believe you're ancient and divine. There's too much supernatural, I shouldn't say supernatural. There's too many scientifically complex anomalies about a human being, yourself, even if you're just looking at you, that you can deny that there is a divine higher power. There's just too many things. You can't deny that. You also know that you know, well, for some people, depending on your belief, I don't personally believe I came from an ape. I don't. I think they're completely different species, just similarities. You know, there is a order to science. I believe we are too divine of a being with a soul and a mind and a spirit, and too complex emotionally, with language and speech and all that, for us to think that we came from someone that swung from branches. So if that offends y'all, I'm sorry, but I think you're more than that. I think you are truly created in this image of a divine being. I think you are so much more than that. I think you are something that is to be marveled. I really do, and I believe you need to believe that in your heart. You don't believe it, you hear it, you have the head knowledge, but you don't have the heart belief. You also had the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Like the jellyfish, you seem dainty and fragile, but you can be quite dangerous. I feel like you want to do this, but because you don't completely have the confidence, which would tie back to the empty challenge. So yeah, you don't really have the confidence, but you also don't give a fuck anymore either. So that I'm sorry, that energy is still up. You don't care. You're about to just take your arm and swipe it across the whole entire table and just do a redo. Screw it all. Redo. I'm done. I've had enough. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This ain't right. This ain't right. This ain't right. You said this, and this is this, and this is that, and this is this. And like, woo! If you're a jellyfish, think about them. They look dainty. They look fragile. They look like they can't fend for themselves or anything like that. And they just look lackadaisical, just through the water. But in reality, they're dangerous and quite deadly. Very deceiving. And I feel like that is how you are. On the outside, you look like this sweet, bubbly person, but on the inside, you are quite lethal and deadly, and not someone really to be trifled with or played around with. But I don't think you believe that. I think you know that, but you don't believe it anymore because of all this drama and all the yelling and all the carrying on. I don't think you have really much faith in yourself. I really don't. And I think that's why God's telling you, like, you cannot get caught up in everybody's drama. You got your own stuff going on. You can't get caught up in everybody else's drama. You won't have the mindset clear enough for your own. Ooh. Try that again. And you guys don't seem to want to shuffle. Well, I shouldn't say shuffle, but actually overlap. You'll be bent, you'll be split, you'll be put down, but when it comes to merging and putting together, y'all don't really want to go. So I feel like there's an internal war going on within you about how to handle the situation that is in front of you, about what to do about the people in your life, just how to set the record straight, how to do it in a manner that's not going to completely alienate everybody that you do love or put you in a position to truly be homeless unnecessarily. Like I said, if God wants you homeless, he'll make sure you're homeless. He'll let everything go according to whatever is needed to put you in the place where you need to be, because if that's the place he has to have you in order to give you your blessing, well, as someone who wants to give you a blessing, he's going to make sure you're where you're at. It's kind of like children. They don't understand why us adults do everything. But it's like we tell them that ain't none of their business. They just need to obey us. So if God is going to do something, let him do it. Trust him through it. Don't resist him. Have the faith. And you will be rewarded for that alone. Just trying to do right, he honors that. Just trying to do what you think he's calling you to do, he honors that. It's the attempt. It's the position and the posture of your heart. It is not the reality of the works. Works won't get you nowhere. You could be the kindest, sweetest person, but if you don't believe and if you have zero faith, it ain't going to get you nowhere. It really isn't. So, let's see what the tarot has for us. Woo! Queen of Cups first, right side up. You guys, self-love, self-love, self-love. Own yourself. Own your worth. Acknowledge it. I am worthy of respect. You all need to be saying this stuff. I am worthy of respect. Put that in the comments. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of being spoken to with decency, common courtesy. I am worthy of treated with kindness. I am worthy of, being told the truth. I am worthy to be loved. I deserve love. I am loved. I love myself. You all need to talk to yourselves like that. Some of y'all really, really do. But I really feel like God is trying to gas you up. And I feel like he's been trying to show you and tell you in a variety of ways. And y'all just haven't been getting the message. Because he needs y'all in this confident position, upright on your throne, in order to do whatever it is he needs to do. But he's also allowing you to speak up. All right, now you're allowed to speak. I feel like some of y'all were muzzled and told to be silent. Just let them do them. Let them, if you give enough person rope, they'll hang themselves. You don't need to help them mess their story up. A liar will always trip up at some point. Even a good one. Because there's too many stories to keep track of. You don't have to keep track of truth. Just the lies. And I feel like when it says, don't get caught up with the undertow of other people's problems and drama underneath, don't give a fuck. You need to clean house. You need to clean house. You need to clean house in the name of love. And you need to clean house in the name of love swiftly. Because God's on the move, y'all. God is doing stuff. God is doing things. He really is moving behind the scenes. And if you're not prepared, you ain't going to be ready. I really feel like he's trying to gas y'all up. Like, look, kind of like the guys trying to gas their girl. Baby, you're so fine. Baby, I love you. You got the best behind. You got the prettiest hair. You got the prettiest eyes. You got the nicest smile. Like, whatever the man says to gus up the girl, like, I feel like Jesus is trying to gas you up and be like, look, I love you. You are sacred. You are holy. You are divine. You are beautiful. You are mine. I love you. There ain't nothing wrong with you. Have faith in me. Trust me. He's asking you to do the very same thing we want our partner to do with us, or our significant other to do with us, or our children to do with us. Like, we want our children to know that we think they're divine beings, that we love them so much, that we're always going to be there for them, and that they can trust us. We don't like when they ask us, well, why do I need to do this? Why don't just shut up and just do it? Just trust me. We say this stuff to them. Just trust me. And frustration, because they had to ask, what more is your God being frustrated when you're not trusting him? When when he can literally see the bird's eye view of everything and everybody, you're really going to think you know better from your limited perspective and limited experience. But he gets that, and he ain't worried about that. But you know, I also did struggle with that. When I ended up being homeless, I did struggle with self-love. I really did. You know, some of the treatment that I had received from men in my life prior to the move really messed me up mentally and emotionally and damaged me as a woman and a mother. And God had to separate me. He had to put me in isolation where I can have a proper rehab all by myself, an emotional rehab. And I did that. There was days that I would just cry in the corner of my apartment, just frustrated. I was on a roll. I was doing things. I was going good. You know, I changed everything about my life to go towards my dreams, and things went downhill. And it's like, well, I'm trying to listen. You said I could. You said start now. But what I didn't understand is when you start and you accept the mission, it doesn't look like you think it is. It just doesn't. So just have faith. Things aren't always as they seem. And again, things aren't always as they seem. Look at the Five of Pentacles. Above them is all the money that they're scrambling on the ground looking for. It's going to come to them in the right time. But like the bat with the echolation, the way they, you know, they send out those silent signals, and it bounces off of the objects and things around them so they can see. That's their sight of vision. That's the type of vision you need to have right now. You need to have that type of vision. Send your prayers out. Let it bounce off the atmosphere and come back with the vision of the truth. And the truth is, your money's coming. Your provision is coming. Your bounty is coming. What you're looking for will be there. Don't get caught up in the beggar poor mentality, because the Holy Spirit surrounds you. Look at all that purple. He's always watching you. He's always there. He's always protection. It's always there. But if we don't want to look at him, he can't make us look to him. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I really feel like not control, but I have a feeling that this thing that you're going to set straight really doesn't have much to do in the physical aspect. I think it's more dealing with your reputation. Things and actions you've taken or done that might have been perceived in the wrong manner, and then you had, you know, trifling, short-sighted people running their mouth all willy-nilly behind your back and about you to everybody and their mama, just tripping you up, tripping them up, messing their perception about you up. But with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, I also feel like, and with the coin suspended in the Five of Pentacles, I feel like it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take a little bit for everything to, sorry, I didn't realize that was dark. It'll take a little bit for your money and everything to settle down and balance in. Like your habitat, I feel, is really going to shift in some aspect when you start setting the record straight, because you can't tell people about themselves without them having a reaction. Especially if you're hitting the nail on the head and it bothers them. They will retaliate in some way, shape, or form, or react in some way, shape, or form. Petty is as petty does, they say. So take it all how it resonates. But I really feel like you're allowed to speak. Just be sure about what you're speaking. Make sure you're speaking in love, not hatred. You need to fall in love with yourself and truly embrace the truth of your divinity on every level, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and physical as well. You need to understand that the storehouses of heaven are open for you. You just need to ask, and God will provide. And remember, when God moves, it's might not going to be the way that you think. And he might be giving you answers to some questions or solutions to some situations. But if you don't know how your God talks to you because you're not spending time with him, You're going to miss it. It doesn't matter how many readings you get from me or anybody else, you will miss it. It could be as subtle as, you know, a ring and a bath bomb. You know? Just look at the things that you collect. Look at the gifts that come to you. Look at the gifts people give to you. Look at the places you decide to go. Look at everything. You've got a seeker, a spirit as a Sagittarius. You know, you can't be an archer in the woods and have that energy and not have any curiosity. Y'all are about as curious as the Gemini. And that curiosity, God loves a seeking soul. He loves a seeker. And oh my gosh, he loves to answer the questions. He loves to get the questions. He loves when his people are so tuned in to his creation and what he did that it's like, yeah, I did this. The way we feel about our art, and I'm like, oh, look what I just did. I love this, 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 and this. God's like that too. He wants us to play in his creation and be like, yo, I just discovered this place. Why did you make it like this? What is it about this? Learn about the rocks. Learn around the minerals. I don't know who needs to know all this, but I feel like God's really trying to have a one-on-one with you, like an intimate one-on-one with you. And he is going to set the record straight, help you set the record straight about you, your reputation, your actions, and set you on high, is what I feel. So take it how it resonates. I hope that helps y'all. And I hope y'all have a really wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye.